So how long is it going to take for you to get your visa if you started today? Whether it's a K1 or a CR1 based on marriage, if you file your K1 visa today, how long is it going to take before you actually get the visa? You want to know? Well, I'll tell you. Before the pandemic, it took about maybe 8 to 9 months to get a K1 visa from start to finish. Right now, the State Department reporting that you need to add about 1 year to every process that you're starting right now, whether it's a K1 or a CR1. So what took 9 months before pandemic, guess what? Add another 12 months, and that's going to be roughly what you're going to be expecting right now. How about a CR1? Before the pandemic, maybe around 11 to 14 months. Guess what? Add another year. In this video, we'll talk about how long it's going to take to process your visa application, what is happening right now with backlogs on embassies and consulates that you need to know, and most importantly, what you can do to prepare for the future backlogs and the changes that are going to happen in the State Department and in the government as they process visas. We're going to talk about the current situation right now, why the backlogs are happening, where are they happening, and we're going to break down the key things that you need to know, so make sure you stick to the end. So let's jump right in. Welcome to our immigration channel. This is a place where we get the most up-to-date immigration updates, immigration news, and everything else that you need to make your immigration journey less stressful. My name is Jacob Sapochnick, and I am an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California, and I have clients in all 50 states. If you're here for the first time, make sure to click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show this video to more people just like you. So let's talk about wait times, visa delays, and all the good stuff. As a matter of fact, U.S. embassies and consulates typically issue over 500,000 visas every year before the pandemic. Of course, the pandemic has changed everything, but it's not just the pandemic. If you remember, in previous videos, I talked about the proclamations, 114 from April, 152 from June, that stopped the entry of certain work visas, family members, and DV lottery. Those proclamations contributed significantly to the current backlog that we have with visa processing, in addition to the problems that we have with COVID-19. President Biden, on his first day, made big announcements. He signed multiple executive orders. But the reality is that we need more action from this president. We need more direction. And what is most important, we need him to remove those 2 bans, because that's a bottleneck on visa issuance right now, in addition to staffing shortage and in addition to the budget crisis that the State Department is currently facing as well. So what is the Biden administration specifically doing to address these visa delays? One of the executive orders that was signed by the president specifically calls for complete review of USCIS, State Department, and all the different agencies and memos and their policies. They're currently working on that. But what does that mean in practice? The reality is that even if this administration continues to review the procedures, and even if they remove the bans today, we are looking at backlog that could last for years to come. And the reason is because we're looking at backlogs that could last for years to come. The State Department admitted recently that they are ill-equipped to process visas in the moment. Not only that they are ill-equipped to process visas, but to handle the backlog that they currently have is virtually impossible with the staffing that they have, with the budget shortfall that they have, and the resources that they need to catch up on that backlog. In fact, a recent statistic released by the State Department specifically states that there are more than 380,000 applicants waiting for immigrant visa interviews at the moment. Guys, 380,000, that's not a small number. And that's going to be a very difficult number to overcome for them to be able to catch up to issue those visas. Not only those consulates are short-staffed, but they're also struggling right now to schedule interviews. A lot of our clients are trying to contact the NVC to figure out what's going on with their case. They're qualified for interviews, but yet the NVC is not sending those cases to the embassies. The reason is the embassies are not able to accept those cases right now, and it's kind of a push back and forth because they know that the backlog is too big for them to handle at the moment. And we all know that the Trump administration specifically done that to slow down the visa processing. These proclamations, these orders that were issued by Trump over the last 4 years, specifically had only one goal, and that goal was to slow down the visa process. When we contacted the embassies and consulates to inquire as to when they're going to resume operations, remember that over the years, consulates were conducting interviews behind glass windows. Their waiting rooms are very small. I remember that when I attended an interview in Brussels a few years ago, we barely had 15 people waiting in the waiting area. They only have 2 consular officers typically per post. It's very difficult for them to catch up. And right now, because of the COVID-19 restrictions, they're trying to limit how many people can enter the embassy, how many people can wait at the waiting room, and that's going to obviously prolong how many interviews are going to be scheduled at any given day. And based on a recent update that I provided in a recent video where there was a meeting between AILA and the State Department, they specifically stated that each embassy and consulates are going to open at their own terms based on their own country conditions and depending on their staffing and their resources. And as I mentioned in this video, their resources are very, very limited right now. Hence, it's going to continue to create a delay as to when interviews are going to be scheduled and when visa appointments are going to be set. The bottom line is that these backlogs could take years to eliminate. We have a staffing shortage, we have a budget crisis, and we have the COVID-19 pandemic continues to create issues in certain countries, preventing the embassies and consulates not only to reopen and schedule these interviews, but also to process these cases efficiently. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, K-1 visas would used to take 9 months to process. The State Department reports that you need to add at least a year or more for every new application that's going to start now, whether it's a CR1 or K1 or any other family petition. So if you used to wait for maybe 11 to 13 months for your CR1 marriage petition, now it's going to take another year. Even if they add more budget, even if they add more people, it's going to take some time to catch up. So what can be done? What can the Biden administration do to speed up this process? Some immigration advocates claim that there should be interview waivers. They should waive the interviews. They should classify which applicants should get an interview waiver and which applicants shouldn't. They should conduct remote interviews via video or Zoom. All these things are good suggestions, but it's yet early to determine whether the State Department is actually going to implement that, because their biggest concern are security. They want to make sure that anybody that interviews and gets a visa is not going to be a security threat before they enter the United States. So once again, Biden's administration in the 3rd executive order did say that they're reviewing all the protocols and the systems of State Department, USCIS to try to speed up the process. They're also appointing key people to the administration to make sure that the implementation of their ideas is going to work smoothly. For example, people like Cass Sunstein, appointed to the DHS, shows that the Biden administration is serious to reverse all the mess that happened under the Trump administration, and their idea is to have a very focused and streamlined immigration system that will be able to actually overcome all these challenges. Their focus is restoring the rule of law, building back better is their motto. So the bottom line is that you guys have to be patient. Expect severe backlogs coming up in the next year or beyond. Expect visa interview delays, and expect every new case that is going to start right now is going to take at least a year or so longer to be processed. At the same time, what we hope is, of course, the Biden administration will remove the proclamations. That's going to help a little bit speed up, put some more budget into the system, train more officers, and open the door for more creative and post-COVID adjudication that will allow the State Department to interview more people and still keep the security measures intact, that is not going to impact their ability from adjudicate visas under clear security measures. So once again, patience is important right now. And hopefully I'll be able to give you better news, but a lot of you are asking me about the wait times, and this is the situation. This is the reason why these embassies are not able to open. This is the reason why the interviews are not being scheduled, and this is the reason why they don't answer their emails, and it's so frustrating to all of us. So once again, hopefully this video has been helpful. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below. I want to hear from you and hear what you have to say about this. And also, if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the bell to be notified for any new videos that come out, and also give us the big like. The YouTube will be able to recommend this video to more people just like you. And if you want to have a consultation with me, text me right here. I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in our next video.